Hello and welcome to the third update video from Razbam. We have a bit of a different video for you today. We're going to change it up a bit. I actually have a co-host, so I'd like to welcome Tim, the tall man, Taylor. How you doing, Tim?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How's it going in sunny California or sunny Florida, wherever you are? Where are you?
Fort Lauderdale, Florida, South Florida. It's
Still...
paradise here.
Yeah, so you have air conditioning on, and we have -3 degrees, which is fantastic. Well, look, Tim, thanks for coming on. So, for those who don't know, Tim is the chap who bought us the Mirage, along with other people as well, but predominantly Tim. We have the Mirage, he helped with the Harrier, and now he's doing the F-15.
I am the owner and operator of Metal to Mesh.
And that as well. So, he's got that to his name as well. Tim's been doing this a very long time, so well, Razbam's really lucky to have this guy, to be fair. He's good at what he does. He's a funny bloke, and he's got his own tall time show. Tim the Tall Man Taylor. Hello.
Yeah. Whatever.
Anyway, look, that's enough of that. I won't say that anymore.
Thanks.
Sorry, mate. So, look, just to let people know, I actually have lost my voice over the last few days, which is why this video is somewhat delayed. So, if I start going croaky, I'm really sorry. I'll try and keep my voice. But I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm obviously James Needham, aka Decoy on the forums. I've just been appointed the community manager for Razbam. So I'm the guy that's going to help you guys with communications in some respects. And I'm going to help showcase the products and obviously continue doing these videos and some other improvements as well. So me and Tim have got a bit of a setup today. So we've obviously done the introduction elements. You obviously know who's who. I'm going to talk to you guys about what we're going to be covering, or what I'm going to be covering in my new role, in relation to the bridge between Razbam and the community. And then me and Tim are going to go through some questions from the community about the F-15 and the Mirage. We're then going to cover instances about new technology and new processes that Razbam are bringing forward into DCS, and also going over on old models. And then we're going to close it up. But we're going to do a bit different this time. I want to focus on what we're going to be changing and what's going to be developing from here on in, rather than going through what's changed in relation to, say, the MiG-19. Again, a fantastic module, but I think it's more important that we sort of move forward with what you guys wanted to talk about, which is the Strike Eagle. So we're going to do that. But I want to cover what I'm planning on doing. And one of the first things that I've started doing is I've started to accumulate all the information on the bugs and the issues with the existing modules, the Harrier and the Mirage. And at the moment, I'm currently working on a bug tracker for you guys to be able to utilise to view the state of play of current bugs and you know how they're getting along, whether they're in testing phase, whether they've been fixed and released, and so on. And so far, we've already hit a few on the head. A couple that will be coming out soon that are just in the testing phases at the moment is the magnetic compass for the Harrier is now fixed. We had an issue where it was stagnant when you were doing the INS alignment and it wouldn't rotate. Now that's been rectified. Tim's kindly sorted out the rain effects on the canopy for the Harrier as well. The sidearm issues are also being addressed, and a few of the ones that we've looked at is the one where the sidearms keep lock when the aircraft is not pointing at a target, and also the sidearm keeps lock after firing when another missile remains on the aircraft. And another one is the sidearms do not have volume control, so the Sidewinder volume control is now fixed, and these are being tested and should be out to you hopefully soon. We'll pass them on to ED and then we'll bring them out. Now I'm going to keep an eye on the change logs, and I'm going to make sure they're up to date as best as I can on the ED forum and the Razbam website. And again, as and when bugs come about, just make sure that you do give us the crash logs. I think Tim would agree that having a crash log helps any developer in relation to ascertaining a bug. I mean, would you agree with that, Tim?
Yeah, I would say, as much information as you can get us, if you have a mission track or whatever you want to call them, so that we can go through it and see it. It's always the best. It's like when you go to your doctor. You don't just tell them you don't feel good. You give them your symptoms, and he can help you out from there.
Yeah, definitely. No, you're right. And again, we want to make sure that all these bugs are being looked at. And to be fair, they're taken quite seriously. We're going to have a centralised element where we can look at them and make sure that they are being addressed.
Yeah, because going to the Eagle Dynamics forum, it's everything gets scattered around. There's no central place for us to go and look. And if we have to stop, a lot of times we're heavy into, doing coding or modeling or texturing. And for us to just stop and go look around, it takes a lot of time out of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys have obviously got your jobs to do. So having a centralized aspect, I'm basically going to be the guy that goes and gets all the details for these guys so they can fix the modules. And again, I'm from the community. I understand the pains, but I've also seen it from the other side of the looking glass, and I've seen what actually goes in and the complexities that the team generally go through on a daily basis to build and repair modules. To be fair, so I've
Oh
got
yeah,
yeah, so I've
all the
got
all the updates is like, wow, we have so many different versions of DCS going on within the development group that it's crazy.
Yeah, and definitely, I've certainly got a newfound respect for Razbam, Heatblur, and all the other guys that generally build models for DCS. It's not a walk. It's not a walk in the park. I mean, just finding one bug, you have to go through thousands and thousands of lines of code to try and alter elements to make it work when DCS gets updated. So respect to the guys that do it. It's certainly something that I couldn't do. And I have to admit, I have thought about maybe getting Larry on one of these calls, who is the lead coder for Razbam. But what would I showcase for his workload? Do I show the matrix text running up and down the screen?
Just a bunch of code, and it's just like, there you go.
Yeah, I have to admit, I've got.
It's really hard.
Yeah, no, definitely. But the most sexiest part of any modelling, any module, I guess, is the. Where's your job, I guess, Tim?
No, it's
yeah, the building cool stuff.
It's the one that's seen, but again, as we go on, we go back and we look at something, and it's just like, oh, that's awful. I wanna change it. I wanna make it better. So.
Well, you do a good job, Tim, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And the fact that you keep going over your work as well to better it, which is fantastic, which we're going to cover in a minute, I think.
Yeah.
But as you guys know, we asked you to bring forward some questions for Tim in relation to the F-15. Now, we do have them in relation to the MiG-19, the Harrier, the Mirage, and general questions as well. So we're going to try and cover them all, to be honest. But I think we should be starting off with the F-15 because this is Tim's latest baby. So Tim, tell us about the F-15. What block F-15 are you going to be modelling and bringing into DCS?
Honestly, it's kind of vague on the blocks that McDonnell Douglas made with the F-15E. I believe we're doing a lot 6. We're doing a post Desert Storm, and we're trying to go up to early 2000s so we can get the helmet mounted display, but it's all dependent on the information we have. The Dash 34 manual for the non-nuclear weapons platform, and that's the jewel of what the aircraft can do, because these MPCDs or MPDs or MFDs or whatever you want to call them, they are the core to the F-15, so everything runs through them, and if you don't have the proper information to code the different pages and to make everything correctly, it's not accurate. So we're kind of limited on what manuals we have, and we do have a Dash 34 of I believe it's August 15th of 1993, but what kind of updates are added since then, I don't know. I'm sure we're hoping that a lot of the information will all be the same, but we also are scheduling. We have to get everything together with the Boeing rep, United States Air Force, and then we're gonna try to. We were trying to go for a meeting with them over at one of the Air Force bases, probably like Seymour Johnson, of this year, but with the Hurricane Florence, we kind of backed off a little bit because they were kind of hit hard. So we wanted them to be able to support themselves and the communities around them. So we're kind of just put it on the back burner for right now, because there's a lot of things that we want to do when we go over there and to get the information, and so we can make the most accurate F-15E simulation possible.
Well, that's certainly good news, knowing that you're looking at doing the JHMCS. That's I'm sure that's going to be a bit fun. I can't wait for that, even in the Hornet. So, Tim, a question that we get from a lot of people so far: the F-15 is obviously a twin seat. Are we looking at having a twin seat variant, or is this going to be a single seat only?
It's gonna be multiplayer. As for AI, some things are on the table, some things aren't. I can't really talk about it, but we're looking into it.
Okay.
But yes, you can definitely share experience with a friend, or even with the F-15E, the way the cockpit is designed, you can do everything from the front seat. You actually don't even need a person in the back seat to fly the aircraft. It is designed that way. It's just the workload is divided among two people for less stress on the pilot, and so it's easier operations.
Oh, okay, cool. So here's a question for you, and again, this isn't a question that someone's asked, but can the Rio or the Wazo, can he or she eject the pilot?
Actually, no, you can't eject a pilot. There is a switch on the right-hand side where you can control what the ejection functions do. Like, let's just say the pilot ejects by himself, or they both eject at the same time, and so on. But you can. There's one thing that's funny is that you can blow the canopy from back there, so it scares the hell out of the guy flying the airplane, and then hey, you got a convertible.
Oh, that could be interesting. I bet that's going to
Yeah,
happen a lot. I could just imagine loads of multiplayer servers with F-15s flying around without canopies and laughing rear seaters.
yeah, but a lot of times, the guys that fly this aircraft, they're really serious,
Oh,
and
of course. Yeah, but this is DCS. This is going to happen, Tim. It'd probably be me that starts it.
yeah.
Well, look, Tim, so obviously you've covered the rear seat element and we've covered the type of airframe. Another question that's come along quite a lot is the radar. I mean, obviously, ED are working on a ground radar, which we all know is being looked at. Is Razbam going to look at adapting this or making their own version?
We wanna stick to Eagle Dynamics' radar,
Okay.
so it's probably best that Eagle Dynamic does it, so this way we can make it do what it's supposed to do to the best of its abilities.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so we talked about the radar. Let's move on to the weapons. We've had a couple of questions about the weapons, such as will they have smart new missions such as the GB39?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it should have that.
fair enough. And I guess it's really too early to realistically be talking about the weapons systems at this stage. The same as we've got some questions about will it have a
Yeah,
sniper pod
right
and
right
data
now
link.
that right now the F-15E is basically in art form. It's the 3D models being done. It's not the. I know there's video of an older F-15 from 2012. That was a test. It's a completely new 3D model. Has new techniques, and we'll get into that shortly with the new things that we're doing in Razbam.
But here's a common question then: engines. What engines are you planning on putting on the F-15, Tim? Because obviously
I
there's two variants, isn't there?
Right, yeah, I would love to have the two different engines, the 220s and the 229s, so we can have the different afterburners, with the orange afterburner for the 220s and the bluish afterburner for the 229s, but also just the difference in characteristics and performance. Because there's a lot of airframes with both engine with the different engines.
So,
So
Tim, if you could choose one engine, what would it be?
I I think it would be the orange one because there's like a
Oh,
VMAX switch where it increases the output
yeah.
for the 220. So I think it would be the orange one. I kind of like the orange a little bit better.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So let's move on. So that's the questions that we've had for the F-15. So let's move on, Tim. Let's go through the ones for the Mirage, if you're happy to do so.
Do you want to go with the new technology first?
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's go through that then. So Tim, go ahead and tell them about it then, because obviously this is quite exciting, and to be fair, I'm sure they're quite viewing it. So I'll show them some screens while you're talking, Tim. So yeah, go
Okay.
for it, mate. Go
All
ahead.
right. So basically, what we're doing is, uh, with our work, or even my work, even the guys coding or the flight modeling or everybody else that's in this, we always try to better ourselves. We always try to, okay, we learn from situations and then we apply it to newer things that we're doing. And one of the things we started getting into is modeling with 3D scanner. Not really modeling with the 3D scanner, but using a 3D scanner, incorporating it in our workflow. So this way, when we go to airfields and we go to scan these aircrafts, we can get the exact measurements, the exact dimensions, angles, everything, and then use those as the ultimate reference to create a more accurate aircraft, at least on the 3D model side. So we've incorporated 3D scanners. We also have we changed our workflow so that we are putting out better textures. I know there's a situation where our textures just weren't cutting it, and the objects materials, such with dirt, with chips and wear, we don't want to go too much because I don't know any crew chief in the world that would allow their aircraft to become that filthy or that damaged. But as you can see in the Aces 2 ejection seat, we did it with our older tools and it looks almost cartoonish. And then when we went to the new work tools, you can actually see a difference. It's like night and day with the quality. So with these new tools, we're applying it to the F-15E to give it our best look that we possibly can, and trying to compete with others out there. And like I know Nick from Heatblur, he's a fantastic artist. He does great texture work. So we have to increase our abilities to go ahead and give them guys a run and keep up with them. So the F-15 will incorporate this newer technology, this new workflow, and with the 3D scanning, we can get a really accurate representation of the aircraft and its cockpit.
Yeah, just as a note, we were talking about this earlier on, but Tim also plans on going back and looking at the older models as well. When I say the older ones, the Harrier and the Mirage.
Once the F-15E is done with the new texturing and the new workflow, we will just like we've updated it before with the art side, we'll go ahead and update it again. And we keep building on it. It's always something. It's an internal drive for artists. They always like to go back and improve their work and make it better. And it's no different with us.
And as I might point out, you don't get charged for that benefit either, by the way. So I don't know many games that actually go back and rebuild the texturing element of their aircraft. And again, other developers do it as well. But it's certainly something that I've never really thought about until now. And you kind of look at it and you think, wait a minute, that takes you it's not an easy task. It takes you a while. It's not a free task in relation to time. So, Tim, in advance, mate, thanks for doing that, because I know it's something that you're passionate about in relation to the product development and getting it out there as a high quality as possible. But going over it again is just, thanks in advance for when you do the Mirage and the Harrier. So thank you, Tim.
Well, you're welcome. But really, at the end of the day, it's my work and I want to make sure it's the best I can do. So I'm always constantly improving it. I know I get headaches or like curse the computer out when I got to redo everything, but it's still a labor of love and I enjoy it. So and I always want to keep it the best I can.
Yeah, well, I've seen your passion, and I hope you don't mind me saying, Tim, but recently Tim shared some pictures to myself of the new cockpit of the F-15, which is phenomenal. But we spent 40 minutes on the phone talking about the quality of the switches. Does this look right? Tim takes it very seriously. Actually, he's a real nerd.
I had to redo the switches. I just like what 3 days ago redid the switches. I noticed there was something that wasn't right, and so I had to go and redo them. And now what we're gonna do is when we animate it, like how the actual toggle switch is in an aircraft, it doesn't just move on a rotation. You literally have to pull it a little bit to get it out of the ident or the detent, and to bring it up into its position. So we're gonna, with the F-15E, the animations will be like that. And I've already talked to the coding guys about us making it animate like that so it's smooth and looks good.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And where did you? I mean, so you use the scanner to get those switches, isn't that? Is that right? To get the dimensions and the sizes, they're going to be one-on-one. They're going to be accurate.
No, actually, I have a research material.
Okay. I thought you used
here
the scanner
locally.
like
Yeah, well, the scanner is like is an elaborate tape measure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
3D scanning, it's not like it's going to build the model for us.
No.
It's going to be millions of polygons. I don't think your computer would fly that well, but what it will do is it will say, okay, this is 24 millimeters long, or this angle is 32 degrees, and the panel sits back 14 degrees. It gives us very good data so that we can place it inside the 3D, like 3ds Max or something, to have it there to say, okay, I'm going to model this, I'm going to get this, and I have everything right there, so I can just build right over it with a new mesh and get it very accurate, the thickness of the gauge blocks, exactly where screws will be, panel lines, everything will show up in the 3D scan, and exactly how many degrees the angle is, or how deep the glass is, and it's something that's really cool. We did scan a F-15E cockpit just to test it out, and I scanned some pilot mannequins that were dressed up, the Air Force, and you can measure it, measure how tall the guy is, and so we'll use that to where if we scan something in, then we can bake the textures onto a lower poly model so we can get the detail, but it's a tool, We will be going back to the French. You might as well go right into the Mirage 2000.
Yeah, go on, mate. But just as a quick caveat, just need to let people know that Razbam is not making an F-16A. It's only purely used as Tim's a huge aviation fan, and he's lucky enough to have the ability to scan the cockpit, which is a great tool. So yeah, it's just to practice and get ready for the F-15. But just to make you aware,
just resource purposes.
Yeah, it's for resource purposes only. So no rumour mills. But no, Tim, go for it. Yeah, tell him about the
no
F-16.
Mirage.
Yeah.
So with the Mirage, like we've been working with the French Air Force and everything, and it takes time. This is the military. They're gonna take their time to do all the paperwork, all the forms in triplicate. So a lot of it's been waiting, but now that we have a lot of the green light to go ahead with some of the projects, we're working with them more closely. I believe there was a picture of videos that were sent. A lot of them were in the simulator for safety reasons, but also some of them were shot in the backseat of some of the details of the radar or the VTB, the head down display, showing different modes that weren't incorporated that are part of the real aircraft. So we're going to be going back in the May of 2019 for more research work. Personally, myself, I'll be going as well. I'll be scanning in the Mirage 2000C cockpit with a 3D scanner to make sure we have it accurate and repair anything that's wrong. We will also, here's like the rumor mill thing with the F-16A. We will be going to another base to scan in a Dash 5. So all the people out there screaming, Fox 3, Fox 3, Fox 3. Fox 3, baby. All right? We'll be scanning in a Dash 5 or later down the road. Not anytime soon. If you guys see pictures of projects, they're usually in the art phases. There's no coding being done. There's only coding being worked on a few things. It's nothing like, we're coding everything in the world. A lot of it's just artwork that's getting done, because once the artwork's done, then it goes and we can code it. But we have plans for a Dash 5 and a D version. So
yeah, that's going to be awesome. So that will please definitely the guys. I mean, because one of the questions that we actually have is, will the Mirage get Fox 3 to calm down the FC3 noob? So that question's kind of been answered, and well, there you go. So. Right. Not on the C, but on the Dash 5 potentially in the future, then yeah, which is quite cool. So thanks for that, Tim. Right, so another question that we got, Tim, and this is probably the best one. The Mirage looks like a couple of cats have had an orgy on it whilst in the sun. Will this be fixed?
You see, that's the problem. I've never seen a couple of cats have an orgy before. I mean, you can hear them in the middle of the night. But, I've never seen it. So they got to give us a little bit more information about what exactly is going on.
I assume they mean on the canopy. Now, I have actually tested this. I've had a look in various timescales on all the maps, and I couldn't actually find it. So, if you're the one who posted that question, again, thank you very much for the question.
That's great.
Do me a favour, on the forum, find me on there and just send me a message. Again, I appreciate if you can send me a photo of what you mean, and then that way we can have a little look at it in detail for you. Right, so now that ED have added the basic lofting logic for the air-to-air missiles, do you plan to upgrade the Mirage 2000's 530Ds to utilise this capability? Now, Larry actually touched on this the other day, if I remember right, and mentioned that the missiles for the Mirage are fully modelled, and I think he just went as far as saying that we're happy with them and they're not going to be changed for obvious reasons. So the missiles are not going to be changed. They are as realistic as they can be. So at the moment, no. Okay, question on the Mirage, and it's probably a stupid one. No question stupid. Last year, you were talking about the flight model for the Mirage. Was that ever implemented?
Yeah, that was fixed.
That was done.
Time ago.
Yeah.
I just see, but you got to realize that Eagle Dynamics is changing the sim, so they could add different flight model parameters that we don't know about right away, and it might change the feeling of how the aircraft flies. But we always go over, and when we get the information, we always do update our stuff. The aircraft constantly gets updated because what version of DCS are we flying right now? It's still beta or stable, or it's constantly evolving. So there's new things being added all day long.
That's right. Yeah, and that links me back to the changelog element. So the changelogs have been missed in some respects. It's no one's fault. The guys are just generally ridiculously busy. So you'll start seeing them come through a bit more detail and a bit more consistency in relation to the changelogs. And again, changelogs do sometimes information gets missed. And there's a few recently for the Harrier which didn't come through, such as the HUD repeater, for instance, and the flare image. Again, we appreciate there was a bug on that, but that's already been looked at. So that information should now start flowing through to you guys a bit more freely. But let's look at the questions. So that's all the questions that we've got for the Mirage. So what about Harrier? Should we look at the Harrier?
Sure.
Okay. Right, so we've had a few questions about bugs. Now, I'm not going to answer any questions about bugs, and I don't think it's right to do so because I'm still having a look and finalising the bug list for the guys to look at. So if you posted a question about the bugs, look, I'm really, really grateful. And again, if you ever come across anything, we really, really want to see it. As long as you do it in a constructive way and provide the information, then we can help. And that's what it's all about. So we've had interval bomb questions. We've had questions about the point track for the Harrier. Is that going to be fixed? Just as a note on the point track for the Harrier, it is being looked at, and I've personally had a look at it myself and noticed that it's an issue, and we forwarded it on, and it's certainly a issue that needs rectifying.
The Mirage, not the Mirage, the Harrier was the only other aircraft besides the A-10C that has MPCDs.
That's right.
So
that's right. So it is very hard for the guys to code, and they are rectifying it, and they're working with VD on these as well. It's in everyone's interest. So the bug tracker that I'll be releasing soon will have all the bugs on there. You're going to see a state of play on them, so just hang tight on it. Don't stress too much. The guys know that they're there. So just stay tuned. So if you've got any questions on bugs, leave them for a bit, and I promise you we will answer them shortly with the new bug tracker. A couple of questions have asked about what is happening and when are the remaining DDI and subpages and systems going to be available for the Harrier.
What was it, the VREST? I know that's really close to getting done.
Yeah, so they are being done.
That's a heavy duty page.
It is, and guys, they are being worked on. And again, it's like I said a moment ago. This isn't a product that you can flick a switch, do 2 lines of code, and it's done. You're talking about writing
thousands,
exactly
10,000s.
And I've seen Larry work, and when you miss one comma or one, you put an A instead of a B, you can spend two days just trying to find that issue. So they're making them. These are coming. Don't stress. They are coming, and there will be a missing feature list that we'll look at doing as well. I mean, this is my promise to you guys. I'm here to be your liaison, so to speak. So I'm here for Razbam and the community. We will get these sorted out. So let's move on to the. There's only one question for the MiG-19, and that is, will it have a campaign and training missions? Baltic Dragon is looking at those, if I remember right. I was speaking to him the other day. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's doing interactive ones as well, interactive training maps.
He's also working on the ones for the Harrier as well.
Yeah, he's doing a good job on them. And again, he spends a lot of time doing it. That guy does some seriously good missions. I mean, he takes it to a whole new level. Right, so a couple of the questions that we got. Actually, we got a couple for the Southern Atlantic team. And that is, are Razbam planning on doing the HMS Hermes or the HMS Ark Royal?
Was that 82 ships?
Yeah, 82 ships are coming for that map, so you're going to be blown away. And again, you're going to start seeing a fast-paced section of pictures of these ships coming over the next coming months. And again, none of this, it's taken away from the coders, rubbish. It's not. It's a separate department. And again, just be grateful that you're going to be getting them because they're going to be awesome. I mean, we showed you the HMS Leeds the other month, and you know, it's Bruce that's doing them. And
yeah, and he gets blueprints. Like 34 pages of. That's crazy.
Yeah, he certainly gets some intensive research material there. So that we know.
I wish we could get that kind of information for these aircraft.
Yeah, it would be good.
Yeah.
So the other one. Okay, so Harrier. Are we getting a Sea Harrier for the Southern Atlantic?
Yes.
Yeah. We've already mentioned that a few times. That I think Ron has mentioned it a few times as well. That he's
Mirage
doing
3.
Yeah, the Mirage 3, the FRS 1.
I'm doing the Sioux.
Yeah, you're doing the Super. So there are a lot coming for this map. And again, the flyable asset ones, again, is a bone of contention. And again, we don't... There's projects already in the works. But when
the Vulcan
finished,
was in the South Atlantic conflict?
Yeah, it was, yeah. So we're still waiting for an AI version of that, Tim.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to do it then.
Yeah, too bloody right. You need...
Yeah.
There you go. So there you go. If we don't get an AI Vulcan, it's Tim's fault. So we're going to get one. So there you go. Thank you, Tim. I've been asking Tim for months. I want that howl, and it has to have the howl as well. I'll happily come and do the research photos for you, Tim.
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to take a trip to England and we can scan it.
Yeah, come along. I want my beer. You owe me a beer.
I'll
take you to Vulcan.
Everybody a beer.
I'll take you to a Vulcan. You buy the beers.
Let's do that. All right, let's get to beers first, then go see the Vulcan.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've been in a Vulcan cockpit. Don't wear any clothes that you like because they're going to get destroyed because it's very...
I wasn't going to wear any clothes.
Scratch that. I'll let Clark take you. Get Clark to take you.
I owe him a beer too.
You definitely owe him one now. You can have my beer as well. There you go. Well, look, that's the questions really that we've got. The other ones, obviously, we can't answer for obvious reasons. But I just want to thank you guys for your questions. And again, thank you for your support as well. I mean, even from my side of it, and again, I've been helping the Razbam team for, to be fair, quite a while. And now being able to do it officially is quite a challenge and an honour for me, to be fair. But guys, I'm going to have an open approach. Again, I'm one of you guys. I come from the community. You know, if you have any questions or need any help, just ask me. If I say I'm going to do it, I will. So I'm going to be true to my word. And the bug tracker will be coming very soon. I just need to do a few more tweaks. I don't want it to be rushed. I want to do this properly. So if you come across anything that you think is, that's a genuine bug, let us know. But that being said, Tim, I think we are... Well, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you've got anything you want to add, Tim?
Not really. We just like to do aircraft, and we want to continue to do aircraft, and like we're always gonna increase our capabilities and always refine everything that we do, so that's always better each time around. And we'll go back and refine the previous models as well. At least I will. I know I will.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we'll leave it there now then. We're going to go. You know, if you've got any questions for the next video, post them in the comments below as well, and we'll try and get them answered the same as next time. But that being said, Tim, let's go now and leave these guys to it. So, Tim, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all next time.
All right, take care, man.